Victor Mark Priapi was born in Glen Ridge, New Jersey, to Ruby Reeve and Victor Priapi. After spending the first 8 years of his life there, the family packed up and moved to the northern fork of eastern Long Island, where Ruby grew up. The Priapi-Reeve families have deep roots in agricultural pursuits. Green blood, a talent for gardening all around. Vic's father, Victor, was a first-generation Sicilian American. In Sicily, growing fruits and vegetables was as natural as breathing, and it is a custom the family maintained in their new life in Montclair, New Jersey. Vic's mother Ruby grew up on her family's North Fork farm in Aquabog, which was established in the 1800s. Ruby was the oldest of three, big sister to twins, Fred and George. Vic's two uncles each played a significant role in his life as a grower. Vic spent his young years working with and learning from both of his uncles. He was actively involved with his local 4-H club and loved spending time outdoors. When Vic was about 11 or 12, he rode a busted-up old bike to his grandfather Chauncey's farm every day in the summer. He spent the days working with his Uncle George and cousins. At the end of that summer, Uncle George paid him with a brand new bike. After graduating from Riverhead High School as valedictorian of his class, Vic went on to study at the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences at Cornell University. He earned his bachelor's degree in plant science from Cornell in 1979. The young go-getter didn't bother to attend his graduation ceremony. Instead, he packed up his truck with most of his belongings and hit the road, heading south once he got away from metropolitan New York. Whenever he got tired during that trip or saw some interesting farm country, he would leave the highway, find a diner, pick up a local paper, and check it for job listings. In this way, he landed a job at Angelica Nurseries in the container production department and settled down in Galena. In 1986, he became the company's propagator, growing more than 750,000 plants annually by cuttings, seed, and grafting. Guess all those years of ripping off the neighbor's shrubs paid off. Vic stayed with Angelica for about 22 years, and then his life changed. While attending a party at his cousin's house on Long Island in June 2001, he met a wonderful woman named Mary Mackenzie. Angelica was in trouble. Vic's job as head propagator was no competition for this vibrant new love in his life. After a short-lived job working for East Coast Nurseries on Long Island, Vic got a hankering to have a nursery of his own. He and Mary started taking trips down to Maryland on the weekends, hunting for a property on which to build their dream nursery. The 11-acre stretch of land on Route 213 in Cecilton is the first property they looked at, and they thought it would be the perfect spot to realize the dream. Vic and Mary closed on the sale of 5996 Augustine Herman Highway, home of Priapi Gardens, on December 19, 2002. 6 months later, in July of 2003, they married. The nursery grew from humble roots. At purchase, it was 11 acres of fallow cornfield with nothing but a little red shed on it. The inaugural crop of passion vines Vic propagated to sell at the nursery spent the first part of their lives on a trailer in the driveway of Mary's house in Manhasset. Everything the nursery is today was built from the ground up by Vic and Mary, moving sand, stone, water, and earth to create a center of true beauty. The nursery opened in April 2004. Initially, Vic and Mary had plans to be wholesale plant purveyors only. They soon found that this was not enough, and with drive and creativity continued to grow. They began offering retail plant sales to the public, providing fine plants for the home and garden, fall festivals for families, garden tours and wine dinners, free classes for the public on garden care, to name just a few of the many wonderful offerings Priapi Gardens brought to the community. The business continued to evolve and flourish, bringing people and plants together. Their motto is, "Discover our passion, make it yours." When the majority of people fell on hard times in 2008, things at the nursery were no different. In the years leading up to the recession, the business had experienced exponential growth under Victor's careful eye and entrepreneurial edge. As people reined in their spending to only the bare necessities, plant sales suffered. In the years leading up to 2008, Vic began a project getting back in touch with his vegetable growing roots. He started experimenting with some small crops of vegetables on the southern end of the property, which, at the time, was not being utilized. Because the land had been fallow for so long, it was ripe for fresh cultivation, not to mention perfect for practicing organic agriculture. Priapi Gardens began to further diversify by growing fresh, local produce sustainably. A longtime lover of the outdoors and an environmentalist at heart, Victor is constantly aware of the impact his actions have on the greater world around him. Priapi Gardens is located within the watershed of the Chesapeake Bay, the largest estuary in the United States. Because of this, Vic and Mary have made it a priority to use bay-friendly practices in production. In this, their goal is to grow and market the finest quality plants possible using virtually no pesticides. Similarly, all of the nursery's irrigation water is recycled through its catch pond, limiting the amount of nutrients escaping into and disrupting the bay. With the same care and attention to environmental preservation, Priapi produce has always been grown organically, using no synthetic fertilizer or pesticides. The land on which the veggies are grown is now USDA certified organic. By adding this edible component to Priapi Gardens' ever-expanding repertoire, Vic opened up a whole new realm of possibility for the business. Priapi Gardens now provides beautiful vegetables, wholesale and retail, to local families, Maryland farmers markets, Union Hospital in Elkton, and various restaurants in the area, to name a few. The Garden Center also offers a CSA option 42 weeks of the year, where customers buy a share of its produce at the beginning of each season and receive a box chock full of fresh vegetables every week. In these tough economic times, the vegetables are paying the bills. Everybody's got to eat, after all. In a little over 10 years, Vic and Mary's hard work, passion, and determination have transformed a little red shed in a cornfield into a beautiful showcase of the wonder and diversity the plant world has to offer. In Vic's own words describing his work, quote, "Our business is plants. We have plants from A to Z, native, exotic, annual, tropical, perennial, edible, pond plants, and the newest plants. We pride ourselves in our ability to meet our customers' needs. If we don't have it, we'll get it. From seedlings to a 1-ton tree, we'll sell one plant or we'll sell 1,000, end quote. Yes, it is this attitude and the farming work ethic that has earned Priapi Gardens the William D. Cecil Outstanding Farm Operation of the Year Award for 2012.